if in this struggle the body calls for a banana and you send it a Coca-Cola? And now the body has the right to say what? Whose side are you on? I'm working day and night to drive illness into a small corner and keep you healthy, and you keep sending me the wrong stuff. Come on, just a little cooperation here, and we can win this game. But see, if you don't do your push-ups. And what was that little voice in my hotel room this morning that said to me, Jim Rohn, you don't have to do your exercises this morning. You're running a little late. And this little creature on this shoulder almost talked me into it. And the little angel says what? No, 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 no. Fall on the floor one more time. Do those push-ups, a few crunches, a little modified version, yes, because you are late, but you got to keep up the pace. See, that's called what? The work of summer. Now, turn this around, because it's also possible to love like a father and hate like a mother, just so you get the job done. And if it's a single parent, right, you got to do both the work of father and mother. It's extraordinary. But mother is capable of hate and defense and protect, because I think years ago, Papa was off providing, Mama was home protecting. So she developed these instincts of danger in order to protect her family. Women are good. Women are unusual. They have this antenna that picks up all the stuff, especially danger. In the middle of the night, the baby cries. Mama's awake. Papa sleeps. Mothers sleep near the surface, and the least little movement or sound, they're awake. It's built in, the female mother, that instinct. She says to her husband, go look, something isn't right, downstairs. He says, no, everything's fine. She says, go look. He says, okay. He gets up in the middle of the night, stumbles downstairs, and the front door is open. How did she know? They just know. I don't know how they know. They've got this instinct, especially for danger. Interesting story in the Bible. It says there are sheep and there are shepherds and there are wolves. Fairly ordinary story. Shepherds and wolves and sheep. But that's not the end of the story. To illustrate a point, the storyteller says, there are also some wolves that have learned to dress up like sheep. Now you need a woman. Man says, looks like a sheep, talks like a sheep. Woman says, ain't no sheep. Okay. Have you got this now? The work of summer. Here's what it's called. High drama. Nourishing and protecting. Nourishing with one hand and protecting with the other hand. Even the battle of the mind. Here's a good note to make on the battle of the mind. Don't become a victim of yourself. In this battle of the mind, should I, shouldn't I? Let it go. No, don't let it go. Run the red light. No, be a little more cautious. Think of your family. See, we have to continually do this. Beware of the thief on the street that's after your purse, but also beware of the thief in your mind that's after your promise. That little thief that says you're too short, you're too tall, you're too old, you've never done it before. What makes you think you can do it now? Nobody in your family has ever done it. In fact, if you start, they'll all make fun of you. It's called the thief in the mind that steals the dream and steals the promise, makes you less effective than you should be. Here's what you must do. Battle with the mind. Now, what's the purpose of all of this opposites in conflict? Here's what I think it is: to create high drama. God wishing it to continue on earth as it did in heaven. I guess that's the best conclusion I've come to. Because here's the last of this now. Would it be possible to win if you couldn't lose? And the answer is no, it doesn't seem like it. If you took a football today and put it under your arm and we went with you to the nearest football stadium, and with that football under your arm, if you walked across the goal line, would we call it a touchdown? And the answer is no. That's not a touchdown. It's not a touchdown until you face the 350-pounders that want to smash your face in the turf. And if you can muscle by them, and if you can dance past the secondary with the football under your arm, cross the goal line, now we call it a touchdown. And maybe you won the game, and maybe you won the championship. So jot this down now. High drama is the order of the day. I guess so ordered by God himself. High drama. But that's what makes life so unique, so challenging, so much opportunity. A chance for fortune and a chance for failure. And you've got to defend yourself against one, see if you can't maximize the other. That's the game of life. Isn't this good stuff? I mean, these few simple ideas started changing my life. Age 25, I was never the same. What if you picked up a book? And the book, first chapter said, everything's fine. Chapter 2, everything's fine. Chapter 3, everything is just fine. Chapter 4, everything is still just fine. Would you finish this book? And the answer was no. What kind of a book is this? So the book on your life story, it's not going to be this. It's going to be filled with the full dramas of the highs and the lows and the winter and the spring and the summer and the harvest. So have you got that now? The third season, do the work of summer. Be both optimistic and vigilant. Two great words of antiquity. Here they are. Number one is behold. That's the word from antiquity. The positive word is behold. Here's the other word, beware. One of the interesting bewares in the Bible is a little story that says, beware of the little foxes that are spoiling the vines. It doesn't look like it. You know, I come from, farm country, Idaho, where I make a little wine and grow a few crops. And you can look at a vineyard, hey, it looks okay. But this old story says, just because the vineyard looks okay, you gotta look a little closer. The little foxes may be eating the vines. So whether it's a personal relationship or a business opportunity or your future or your life or the management of your time or your health or whatever, I'm asking you to behold the possibilities and beware the dangers. That's the key. And all of that we call personal development. Now here's the fourth season. And I've got a lot more notes for you to cover. How many of you have one page of notes already? Okay, wonderful. I want to send you home with a whole basket full. From myself, Brian, this is going to be one of those extraordinary weekends. Dennis is here, other speakers are here. You're going to have a full load to take home. Okay, here's the next season now, the season of harvest. Make this note now on harvest. In due time, and for those who qualify, in due time, and for those who have obeyed this extraordinary law that says life was not designed to give you what you need. Life was designed to give you what you deserve. If you didn't plant in the spring, then no harvest comes your way. If you planted little, then you're not going to receive a lot. And here's the key now for the harvest. Number one, whatever it is, offer no complaint and no apology. If it's a fantastic harvest, you offer no apology. If it's not much, you offer no complaint. That's the highest of maturity. No apology, no complaint. But here's what you can do no matter what it is. Go back to work in the spring. Because, write this down now, spring always follows winter. If the harvest wasn't good and the winter was tough, the promise is another opportunity will come your way. Now, here's one more point now on the harvest, and we'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow. Here it is. Do wise things with your harvest. Build your financial security for you and your family on the rock and not on the sand. We're going to talk about financial independence before we finish this weekend. There's so many things now you can do about gathering resources and wisely investing them so that you and your family are secure. Here's one thing to strive to become early in your life and career: financially independent, so that nobody or nothing has a claim on your assets. Accomplish that as quickly as you can. Then all of the other wise things we'll talk more about. Sarah Alfaro in Mexico came to my seminars and lectures 10 years ago. Single mother, 4 children, no job, no home, no car, no money. And she only had $1 American to invest. Now she makes about $40,000 a month, and she's rich and now quite famous. Sarah Alfaro in Mexico. Here's what I taught Sarah back there 10 years ago. Don't buy the second car until you've bought the second house. It's not cars that makes you rich. It's houses that make you rich. If you bought a condo in Carmel just a few years ago for $250,000, it's now worth $800,000. I got a call the other day from Sarah, thanking me one more time for my training. And she said, Mr. Owen, you'll be happy to know, I just finished paying off my 3rd home here in Mexico, so today I'm going shopping for my 3rd car. Isn't that good? Unbelievable. Remember, how long ago was it when the idea finally dawned on somebody? If you paid 1 extra payment a year on your 30-year loan, you could pay it off in 15 years and save more than the price of the house. Wow. Just a little bit of information and then a little discipline to see it through, and the change for your harvest can be unbelievable. We'll talk more about that later on in the program. Now, jot these notes down. Personal development involves 3 parts. First part is physical, take care of yourself. My mama studied and practiced health and nutrition when I was a boy growing up, paid off. Extended my mother's life at least 20 years, according to the doctor. Mama was a fanatic. Mama was a health nut. Some of the stuff she mixed up for me and my father and for herself, she would say, if this stuff don't kill us, I think it's going to help. And we would gag this stuff down. Mama read, Mama searched, Mama tried. Back when, vitamins and all that stuff was fairly new when I was a kid growing up, Mama did all that research. My father lived to be 93, never had a major illness. Mama extended her life 20 years. My father never did retire. When he died, his paycheck was waiting for him. Thanks to my mother. And I've been in splendid, excellent, good health all my life. And come September, I'll be celebrating birthday number 74. Right? Thanks to Mama. If there's one thing to be a fanatic about, it's your health. Take care of yourself. The Bible describes it this way. Treat your body like a temple. That's a good word. Treat your body like a temple, not a woodshed. A temple. Something you'd take extremely good care of. Here's one of the reasons why. The body and the mind work together. The body is a physical support system so that the mind can dream the dreams and the heart can believe that it's possible and then go to work and make it happen. And for that, you need a good physical support system to manage all of that. One old prophet said, sometimes, the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. See, don't fall into that. You wake up in the morning and the mind says, let's go get them. The body says, I can't even get out of bed. See, one of these days you've got to say, body, this is the last time you tell me you can't get out of bed. I'll throw you on the floor and make you do push-ups until you're out of breath. I'll I'll make you read every book that's ever been written on good health. I'll choke vitamins down you until your face turns blue. This is the last time you say you're not going to vigorously support me to make my dreams come true. You just got to take action now on this stuff here of the physical support system you need to pull off your dreams and your promise and your future. Make this note. Some people don't do well just because they don't feel well. It's not that they haven't got the skills. It's not that they don't have all the rest. They don't have the vitality, the vigor, the vitality. Okay. I travel all around the world. If you saw my travel schedule, work schedule, you would say impossible. I'm probably the only one who can do it. Thanks to Mama and my own study and practice of health and nutrition. See, that's the key. I've got this unique physical support system, and it's going to serve me, another, who knows, 60 years. Now here's the next one. First is physical, second is spiritual. And whatever you believe about spiritual, I happen to believe humans are a unique creation. Spiritual is part of it. But jot this down now. If you are a believer, jot down these 3 words: study, practice, and teach your belief in spirituality. Don't leave your spiritual conclusions unresearched, unstudied, and don't leave it unpracticed. And whatever you do, don't leave it untaught. Study, practice, and teach. If we all do that, starting with our family, we'll build the families necessary to build a strong nation to compete among the nations of the world in these years of the 21st century. Now here's the next one. The physical, the spiritual, now the mental. Your mind, exercises of the mind. Build your library, I say in one of my other seminars. The books that can see you through. The books that can give you the ideas necessary to build a good career, to build a strong enterprise, relationships, good health, and all the rest. The book you don't read won't help. Now here's part of the exercise of the mind. A good debate, right? We're engaged now in the great political debate with the election coming up in just a few months. This is what we call healthy. We don't believe in the one-party system. Communism said one party. Everybody do what we say. We say no, more than one party, so we can discuss ideas. Here's the way to make an idea powerful, is to discuss it and refine it so that it fits your situation. That's what I ask you to do when this seminar is finished. Debate all of these ideas. Discard some that don't make sense. Give considerations to some that do make sense. Put some on the shelf for later consideration, and then put some of them into action that makes sense. Jot this down. Make sure what you do is the product of your own conclusion. Do that thoughtful study. One book on health and nutrition says, do this, you'll live forever. The second book says, if you do what that first book says, you'll die young. So what should you do? Which book should you follow? And this is one of the important answers of the weekend. Neither one. Read both books and make up your own mind. You engage in the debate. What makes sense? What seems to be or not to be? Because as close as we can get to the truth is to say, it seems like. That's as close as all of us can get. We can't say it is. None of us can do that. We can say it seems like. Opposites are in conflict and we're in the middle. It's what it seems like. Our experience proves, and the storyteller says it started early. That's what it seems like. God is interested in high drama. That's about the best we can conclude. We can't actually state the truth, except what it seems like. But engage in thoughtful study and vigorous debate. Sometimes you can debate with others, right? Share ideas. What did Jim Rohn mean by this? Well, I'm not sure that's important to our life. Someone else says, no, I think it is. Engage in this debate. Then here's the big one, the debate in your own mind. What's good, what isn't good. Finally, you must come to your own conclusions. Read the best you can, study the best you can, take the best notes you can, and then do this. Then you decide, out of all of that, which is valuable enough to try, valuable enough to do, and add to the dimensions of your life that are already underway. That's the key for study, exercising the mind. Here's the last part. Don't be afraid of the debate. Communism taught. Some people say, well, don't tell people what communism taught. Why not? That's part of the debate. Communism says capital belongs to the state, not the people. We taught all these years, no, capital belongs to the people, not the state. What a good debate. How about the example of capital in the hands of the state? Well, read the history of the communist empire that dominated Russia for all those 75, 85 years. If that's what you want, that philosophy, to get that result, and we say no. That's terrible. That's terror. That's tyranny. How about capitalism? Makes a country like America flourish. Gives an opportunity where everybody wants to come and try it. Engage in the great debate. Whether it's your health or relationships or your future. Don't be afraid of the debate. The Bible serves as a good book, giving you stories on both sides of the ledger. Here's the story of someone to admire. Here's the story of someone to despise. You need both stories to help you with this debate. Okay. Now here's what's next. Develop these 5 abilities in your personal development quest. To be the best you can be, produce all you can, far more than you need for yourself and for your family. If that's your philosophy and if that's what you want to do, something extraordinary, it's possible to live an extraordinary life. Here's the challenge, and it's going to be working here this weekend. Number 1, develop the ability to absorb, the ability to get everything. I don't know what all you've planned here, but you know, be in every class you possibly can. Just stay as long as you can. We're going to take enough breaks, I think, to make it easy for everybody. We all recognize the mind can only absorb what the seat can endure. I want you to know we are mindful of that. But the key is not to be careless in the gathering of knowledge, not to be casual in the ideas that could double your health, triple your income, accelerate your career, secure your fortune, amplify your harvest. So don't be careless in the gathering of ideas. Absorb every one you possibly can. Here's the next ability. Develop the ability to respond. Let life touch you. Let the stories touch you. Let the drama touch you. 12 months ago, I was in India. I lectured in 4 major cities in India. That was like my 4th visit to India. Once again, I was touched by the drama of such extremes of poverty and wealth. If I was given the assignment, Mr. Owen, see what you can do with India, I would say, what could I do? What could I do? Where would you start? Let the drama of that affect you. Make you more sober in your reflections about life. And then say a prayer that what you couldn't do by yourself, maybe a collection of people can do. Maybe the future will find some answers. A prayer would help. Let life touch you, but don't let it kill you. Let sad things make you sad. Let happy things make you happy. Don't shrug off always those times of bitterness that come and sadness that comes, and your heart is struck like a bullet, hits it. I'm not saying give in to it. I'm saying let it affect you, because that's part of the drama. The old prophet said what? There's a time to laugh and there's a time to cry. And then it said, be so sophisticated that you learn to laugh with those that laugh and also learn to cry with those that cry. Allow yourself to be touched, moved by the drama. Be touched by good ideas. Be touched by opportunity. Be touched by someone's unique little sentence that might cause you to open your eyes to see things you never saw before. Here's the next ability. Develop the ability to reflect. Part of this is in the challenge when you go home, not to just put these notes away, but to get them out maybe fairly often over the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, just to review the notes, to drive the ideas a little deeper, to come up with a little more refinement. And if you go back over these notes, I promise you, there is something you will discover that you just didn't have the time to discover while you were taking the notes. Because in taking the notes, you're working as hard as I am. right? Taking the notes, trying to listen, trying to decide what to write down, how to compose it in a small sentence if I've, said a long sentence, how to edit it as you go. That's why review is so important. Go back over it again. Go back over it again. Here's what I call it. Run the tapes again. The tape in your mind and the tape from your notes, and see if you can't capture something you might have missed, or to develop an extension of something you got now that by going back over it now you can see. Now I see. Here's what I could do with that might multiply the value of my life by 2, by 3, by 5. Here's a good time to reflect when the day is over. How did it go, and who did you see, and what did you say, and what mistakes did you make, and what did you leave out that you could correct tomorrow? Reflect at the end of the month. 30 days, that's when you usually do the accounting for your business and the company and the corporation. Do the accounting for your health. If you needed to lose weight, how many pounds have you lost? Just do a good reflective accounting. I'm trying to do a little study now on the value of the seventh day. Here's another thought to consider on the value of the seventh day. It says labor the sixth, and the seventh is a special day. Rest, relax, spiritual, church, family, friendships. So jot this down for the seventh day. Multi-purpose seventh day after 6 days of work. Multi-purpose. And here's one of the purposes of the seventh day, I think, is to review the previous 6 days. How did it go? Where did you stumble? What did you miss? What should you have thought of that you let pass? Who didn't you see? Just review the last 6 days. What went right? What went wrong? What's there? What's missing? Then here's what you do. Now plan the next 6 days. With this information of the last 6, plan the next 6. I call it multi-purpose seventh day. Reflect, go back over, then design, plan, refine, and deposit the experience of the past 6 days into the adventure and activity of the next 6 days. You will be absolutely surprised at the value and the productivity of your weeks if you'll start doing a little more of that. Now, here's the last 2. Develop now the ability to act. Activity now is the catalyst and the miracle piece of the process. Here's a little subject called How to Turn Nothing into Something. Number 1, first, imagine the possibilities. Imagination is the first step of the miracle of possibilities. Reality first starts with imagination. Now, it's hard to call imagination nothing, but it's not something in terms of a podium. It's not tangible. So it's hard to say how to turn nothing into something, because there isn't anything that's nothing. Everything is something, even if it's the imagination. It's something. Einstein once said, there's nothing faster than the speed of light. And Bill Bailey, one of my mentors, current mentors and longtime friend, said, maybe here's something faster than the speed of light, and that's thought. It's possible that thought could be faster than the speed of light. How fast can you think back and think ahead? I guess we can't say the exact same instant, but all we can say is it seems like the exact same instant. If you don't know the truth, you can't say that's true. And if you're not a scientist, it'd be, a little out of order to say, yes, this is true. But here's what it seems like. It's possible to think back and ahead at the same time. I mean, how fast is that? To think back and think ahead. But it's one of those marvelous capabilities that we all have, and in your personal development quest of getting stronger and more vital, both physically and spiritually and mentally, now use this exercise to think back and gather more experience. Think ahead how to apply it, so that the experience now multiplies in value by 2, by 3, by 5, by 10. That's key. Now, how to turn nothing into something. Number one, imagine the possibilities. Today, if we had a chance to hear everybody's testimonial of how you got where you are, some of you went from nothing to something, some of you went from pennies to fortune, and if we had a chance to hear everybody's story here today, took the